Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Crowd Chatter podcast. Today, we are once again going to be reviewing and previewing the NBA playoffs. So we're gonna start on we're already on the west side. So let's start on the west side here. Of course, we already had round one complete. We are now going on to round two. Um, if you guys have not seen the previous video of me going over the first round and going over these matchups, go ahead and watch that right now. We're just gonna tear the band-aid off with this matchup of the Dallas Mavericks and the Phoenix Suns. I had Phoenix going all the way. I did pick actually Phoenix to win this in 5 games. I did give Luka credit for at least winning one game, but I thought Phoenix in the end would pull this out. Well, they weren't even close. Phoenix absolutely tanked in this series. They look terrible. I could not believe how bad the Suns looked in the last 2 games. I mean, I've been watching a lot of the NHL playoffs lately because these NBA playoff game sevens or just the NBA playoff games period have all been just so bad. None of them have been even competitive, really, which is making it so hard to watch them because of how brutal they've all been. So, really, it's making it difficult for me to pick any of these games because I really have a hard time watching any of these because they're all 30-point blowouts, and for Phoenix, I really could not believe the end of that series. They had a 3-2 lead over the Dallas Mavericks, and then you proceed to lose the next 2 games by 30 plus. Then the last one, Game 7 was a home game, and they were down 57-27 at halftime. They only scored 10 points in the second quarter. I don't know what on earth happened to Phoenix, but they absolutely imploded at the end of that series. Very disappointing from Phoenix. I expected way more out of them. This is definitely going to look like a absolutely lost year for the Phoenix Suns, and Dallas will move on to the Western Conference Finals, taking on the winner of Memphis and Golden State. I figured this would be a really fun series, and it really wasn't all just like the rest of this playoffs. It wasn't all that competitive. It was kind of competitive, but it wasn't. Golden State never really had it in doubt. They took a 3-1 lead. They lost the game in Memphis, came back home and won with ease, and so they went in 6 games over Memphis. I had to go into 7. I thought it'd be a very tight contest. It was. It sort of was, but it wasn't necessarily in doubt, I would say, ever really. So Golden State Warriors, they knock off the Memphis Grizzlies. They head to the Western Conference Finals and won't be taking on the Phoenix Suns, oddly enough, as they now are taking on the Dallas Mavericks. Probably not the opponent that anybody was really expecting, but for this series, if you're asking me, now I'm going to have to change the NBA Finals because I did have Phoenix winning the NBA Finals. I'm still shocked by how badly Phoenix just got absolutely pummeled in those last 2 games by Dallas. I mean, they weren't even competitive. That's how bad they were. I'm very surprised at how badly they played in those games. Anyways, Dallas Mavericks and Golden State Warriors in the Western Conference Finals. I so badly wanted Phoenix and Golden State, but I guess with the way they played, nobody would. I wouldn't have anyway. But for this series, Luka is just another worldly talent. I mean, I gotta give this guy credit for the way that he's been playing. He is literally carrying Dallas the entire way to where they are right now. I gave him one game against Phoenix and he ended up winning the entire thing. He had as many points in the first half in Game 7 as the whole Phoenix Suns team. Like, you heard what I said. It was 57-27 at halftime. Yeah, Luka had 27 at halftime. He scored as many points as the whole Suns team at halftime. So yeah, and as much as I think Luka is an outstanding player, and honestly, I mean, he's only what 23 right now, maybe 24. I think he's like probably 23, 22, maybe even. But as young and as absolutely ridiculously talented as Luka Doncic is, I think Golden State has enough. I'm going to make this 6 games though. It could be 7, but the way with this and how this NBA playoffs has gone, everyone's just blowing each other out. Nothing has been close. Every game has pretty much just been a wipeout. I'm gonna give Luka 6 games in this. I could see this going 7. I think it's going to be difficult for Dallas to win the series because of many reasons. First of all, Golden State has way too much talent. You got Steph Curry, who, of course, is Steph Curry. Klay Thompson is looking like the original Klay Thompson before he got 2 straight years of torn Achilles and ACLs. He looks just fine. He looks like the old Klay Thompson again. As much as I hate Draymond Green, he is a very good defensive player. And then, of course, they have the budding all-star, Jordan Poole, on their team. Nice reserves. This team is just loaded from top to bottom. Oh, and Andrew Wiggins, can't forget him. This team is loaded from top to bottom, and they don't have a weakness really. There's so many weapons for Golden State. I think this very well, now with Phoenix out of the way, I think this very well could be the year for the Golden State Warriors' return. And so that's who, instead, now that Phoenix is gone, I had Golden State losing in the finals to Phoenix, but there is no Phoenix anymore, so I have Golden State now going to the NBA Finals. Then we go the other side here, the East. We had Miami taking on Philadelphia. I did not have much faith in the Sixers, especially since Joel Embiid was hurt. I didn't realize he was only going to be out for like a couple games. Didn't really matter though, because Miami still won this series. It was not in 5 games as I predicted. It was in 6. Close enough though. Miami's team is very good. Jimmy Butler is a great leader for that team. You also got Kyle Lowry. You got plenty other and Bam Adebayo, Tyler Herro. This Miami team is very, very good, and I think they very easily could be back in the NBA Finals again. Other side, we had the Bucks and the Celtics. And since not the Bucks, and since the Celtics always seem to implode in the playoffs, I thought Milwaukee would move on. We'd have another Miami Milwaukee matchup. Instead, Boston came through. Boston knocked off Milwaukee. And it was not a sweep like they did against the Nets. They won this in 7 games. It came all the way to the last one, which was back in Boston, and they just throttled Milwaukee. It was not a close game, as like half this NBA playoffs is gone. And so instead of us having Milwaukee and in Miami, we have Miami and Boston, which... even this is going to be a really awesome series. I mean, Milwaukee and Boston was very chippy, very physical, and a very close series until the last game where Boston just annihilated Milwaukee for whatever reason. But every game in that series was very close, except for the last one. This series... I see going more the same way. I mean, we saw how Boston and Milwaukee were with physicality and just simply does the chippiness. It's going to be the exact same way with Miami and Boston. We all know how Jimmy Butler is. That is a very physical, tough player. And Miami is it can be a tough team. So I think this is going to be a very fun series to watch. I'm not trying to be biased here because I'm not exactly the biggest Boston fan. I think this is a 50-50 though. Miami has plenty of really good players. And so does Boston. This is like I said, this is 50-50. This can go either direction. I could see either one of these teams winning it all. I am going to go with Miami still. I already had them beating Milwaukee in 7 games. I'm sticking with the same thing. I know it's kind of hard to say anybody to go to 7 games since everyone just blows each other out this year. I don't get it, but I'm going with Miami in 7 games. Milwaukee Boston was like the only series really so far this postseason that has been like really close and competitive throughout, other than the last game. I'm thinking Miami Boston is gonna be more the same thing. But I'm going to take Miami to just slip by. They head to the NBA Finals, taking on the Golden State Warriors. And this is where I think Golden State returns to prominence. It's going to be a close series. I think it'll be a closer series. I don't think Miami is going to I don't think Golden State is going to blow Miami out of the water. I think it'll be very competitive. But I think this is at least going to go to 7 games, though. And the one thing that is going to be a problem, I think, for Golden State, it will be Bam Adebayo. Because Bam Adebayo against Draymond Green is necessarily a great matchup. And with no James Wiseman, it could be a little problematic for Golden State. But this is going to be a really good series. I think Golden State is just going to slip by, and the Warriors will once again, after a couple of years of missing out on the NBA Finals, they finally come back and they rear their ugly heads once again. As I'm sure many people are not a fan of Golden State. Personally, I just love Steph Curry, so I'd love to see him win again. And Golden State, I think now with Phoenix out of the way, I said in my first video for the NBA Finals that Phoenix Golden State would be is basically the NBA Finals. Whoever wins that series would win it all. But of course, now with Phoenix gone, I have Golden State as my NBA champion. So that is all for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I will have another video coming out soon. It will be much different from anything that I've done on this channel before. I actually do plan maybe soon enough that maybe I'll have Jacob Srebensky return. And you're probably wondering like why you've only seen me on this podcast for however long it's been now. The issue is me and Srebensky are nowhere near the same time zone. As of course I live in Michigan, he lives in Arizona. We have a 3-hour time differential between time zones, so it makes it very difficult for us to plan like a time that works for all of us. And for me specifically, I have a lot of shifts. My hours are not consistent, so I'm thrown kind of all over the place. And I don't really normally have the only day I really normally have off is Monday. And so it's convenient for me to record during like a Monday afternoon, Monday evening type thing, which I'm doing right now, of course. So that's why you haven't seen Srebensky on here in a while, or Calvin, or even Sam. I mean, he's left the podcast for now. He don't know necessarily if he'll return or not. I guess I'll figure that out later. He's taking some time off. He's really busy, so he does need some time for himself. Anyways, that's all I got for this episode. I'm going to do a different type of episode here shortly. You guys will figure it out once you actually watch the video itself. So that's all I got for this one. Until next time, adios, everyone.